What's going on, guys? It's Charr here, bringing another new series. It seems like we're churning out a ton of these nowadays, but for today's video, I wanted to talk about a deck build, a hero, and kind of what I've been playing recently in Marvel Champions. After the advent of the release of Agents of Shield officially in the U.S. So what today's deck build is based around, it is one of my favorite heroes, She-Hulk, with in the Shield archetype, essentially adequately known as Shield Hulk, which I think is pretty fun and thematic because, you know, She-Hulk with the hyphen Shield Hulk, I think it works out pretty well. But in order to really grasp this deck list and why I chose to play She-Hulk to fight all these villains and experts and whatnot, I had to take it back to the beginning. She-Hulk has been one of my favorites in the game for a long time. When I first started playing the game, a lot of the beginning core box heroes didn't gel with me super well. I didn't really get the hook of what made Marvel Champions, and why I would play it over, I guess, basically any other game. And She-Hulk was the character that really opened my eyes to what this game is and its unique hooks, just based on the simplicity of her hero card inherently. So if we look at the She-Hulk hero card on her alter ego side, she has 6 hand size, 15 HP, and 5 recovery. In a vacuum, those stats are just completely crazy. 5 recovery with 15 health is so good. And then we look at her keywords. She has Attorney and Gamma, both keywords which haven't really had a ton of stuff done with yet, and then that changed a little bit in Agents of Shield, which we'll probably see later in a gameplay segment. But as her alter ego action, she has the I Object Interrupt. When threat would be placed on a scheme, prevent one of that threat, limit once per round. So in solo, this is pretty nice because it does prevent that step 1 of the villain phase, threat from trickling up. It had some specific applications against Ultron in solo mode, because if he doesn't actually add threat on step 1 of the main on that second scheme, he wouldn't put a drone or put any threat. So that's some pretty niche applications, but all in all, it's kind of like a small boon for being an alter ego. You stay an alter ego, you get to basically lower their threat total by 1 every round, which isn't bad at all. But then you flip She-Hulk up, and it's like, oh man. So the hero card is 1 thwart, 3 attack, and 2 defense, which I think is a great stat line. The 1 thwart can be a little low, but there are ways to remedy it within archetype and out of archetype. She goes down to a 4 hand size, which you see that they're pulling those balancing levers a bit. She goes from 6 hand size and alter ego to 4 in her hero mode, because 15 health with 3 attack is just really big stats that, it did a lot back in the early days, and even now it does. And then you look at her hero response, and it says, do you even lift, as a response, which I think is pretty funny. After you change to this form, deal 2 damage to an enemy. It's not an attack, so it bypasses stun. You can do 2 damage anywhere on the board. So just by 1 flip of She-Hulk, your basic, your response here and a basic attack, you're dealing 5 damage. It deals with a lot of the minions in the game. You could deal with a tough status card, and it's just I really like the simplicity of it. Flip up, do 5 damage, flip down, reduce a threat, flip up, deal 2 damage. I really like that gameplay loop of basically She-Hulk, if she wants to be flipping every single turn. When she flips down, she can reduce the threat, and you're going to see in some of her hero card designs where she can only really thwart an alter ego, which I think is probably, it was a novel concept, but probably her biggest weakness, which sort of spurred the general build that we have here that I am keeping concealed until we get to it. But that is She-Hulk in a nutshell. Now we're going to talk about kind of cards that stand out for her and cards that are just not great in my opinion. So we're going to put these 2 to the side, and then basically all of her thwarting cards are going to be in the not great section, because she's supposed to be focused on that damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, we missed one. Okay, so on her thwarting end, She-Hulk has 3 cards to deal with thwarting, which, in a vacuum doesn't seem too bad. Most modern heroes have a thwart event that's 2 costs, thwart for 3. She-Hulk doesn't have anything like that. She has 2 copies of Legal Practice, which is an event that's only an alter ego. You can choose and discard up to 5 cards from your hand, remove 1 threat from each scheme for each card discarded this way. Blatantly speaking, this is a bad thwarting card. Again, she was in the core box, so the game wasn't really, in the spot it was today. There's so many reasons why it's bad. It's not per resource spent on the card. It has to be individual cards. Legal Practice being 0 cost means it doesn't count for the card, so it's always slightly under curve. If you discard 2 cards after playing a Legal Practice, you're just thwarting for 2. Or if you look at Usually hero cards are a bit more efficient than aspect cards, but if you compare this to 4 Justice without the kicker, I mean, 4 Justice does 2 for 3, even without the kicker of 4 with the science resource. So legal practice is pretty not great card. We have Superhuman Law Division, which I've come around to a bit. It is a 1-cost support, only an alter ego. It's an alter ego action: thwart, exhaust Superhuman Law Division and spend a science resource, or yeah, a mental resource, remove 2 threat from the scheme. I actually don't mind this. A couple of reasons why it's a bit better than legal practice is that it thins your deck. There are some cases where you might have like odd, cards in hand when you flip down, and it's like a good resource sink to, okay, turning 1 resource into 2 thwarting isn't bad. It's not super consistent, and side schemes that come in with a lot of thwart, it's not going to help you out, but yeah, it's okay. Ground Stomp is another one of those cards where it's kind of a relic of the time. If the game was only the core box, this card is basically only in here to deal with Ultron. As a hero action for 2 costs, deal 1 damage to each enemy. That's all it does. Again, if you're playing in multiplayer and there's a ton of minions on the board or a minion heavy scenario, I mean, it does like 2 damage for like 5, 6, or 7, which isn't bad. And it's definitely way better in multiplayer, but since we're talking primarily in solo, I play primarily solo and 2-player, it just doesn't really have a home. But now we look at the rest of She-Hulk's cards, and I would say that they're pretty good. So you're going to see that her biggest weaknesses are thwarting, but on the other end, her biggest strength is her attacking. So in order to fix this for hand size, she has 2 copies. I'm going to call them resource generators, but they're draw engines of Focus Rage. They're a 3-cost upgrade. As a hero action, you exhaust it to take 1 damage and draw a card. So you can already see her health is really one of her biggest boons, being at 15. It's insanely high, even nowadays in the game. I think it's the 2nd highest. She has 15 health, and then this can kind of leverage that health a bit to give her card draw, to give her a bigger hand size, to be able to play more cards and do more things on her turn. They're very, very good. Now we're going to look at other things here. So I guess the next one we'll talk about is 1-2 Punch. So this is a 1-cost event. It's not an attack event, but as a response, after you make a basic attack using your attack, I'm not sure why it says that, ready She-Hulk. So in essence, this is like a more restrictive Limitless Stamina, which is a card that came to support 14 health or 4-hand heroes much later in the game's lifespan. It's definitely a more restricted version of that card, but it's still good. 1 cost to ready is just extremely good. I guess it's 2 effective resources. Yeah, this is still just a great card. You can deal with minions. You could, lay some damage onto the villain. There's just really good things. Here's another card that I think was definitely a bit worse before it got kind of a rotted or a rules change: Superhuman Strength. So it's a 2-cost upgrade where she gets +2 attack. That's really good. Takes her from 3 to 5, but it does have a forced response that says, after She-Hulk attacks, discard Superhuman Strength, stun the attacked enemy. The ruling change on this was, it would always discard. If the enemy that you attacked was stunned, it would still discard. And the ruling change essentially said, it's like, if you defeat a minion with this, since there's no valid target to be stunned, you actually get to keep Superhuman Strength. Another, against stalwart villains, because they can't be stunned at all, she gets to keep it. And then the other scenario, if the villain or whatever the minion you attack is already stunned and you cannot stun them, you do get to keep it. So it's just very good. You can really find ways to kind of, use that new ruling to your advantage to keep her swinging for like 5 attack on a minion, restand with 1-2 punch, 5 more attack onto the villain, and you get a stun. Really fun, really cool, really efficient. The 1 attack event she has is probably, it's a Timmy-ish card, but it's one of my favorites in the game. It's 4-cost Gamma Slam. You deal X damage to an enemy to a maximum of 15, where X is the amount of damage you have sustained. She has 15 total health, so if you go down to 1 health in her base kit, this is a 4-cost, 14 damage attack card that can just do so much damage to an enemy's like stage 2 or stage 3. It can close out games or help her close out games really well. And yeah, it's just really fun and thematic, but you can't use it all the time, so it's a bit weaker on that aspect. The last 2 we have is Hellcat, which is her signature ally. It's a 3-cost ally with 3 health and has 2 thwart and has an action: return Hellcat to your hand. When I was kind of new to the game, I didn't really get the appeal to this card. It gives her another consistent way of thwarting. So Hellcat, she has 3 uses because we're 3 health. You can have her thwart for 2. or 4 total, and then she'll have 1 health left to either use as a block, like a chump block to save your HP stat, or you can use her action, put her back in your hand, and then replay her back down to get more thwarting. It's a bit under curve, but it is a way to keep her thwarting going, or another card in your hand just to play for a better card. And then split personality, which I think ties the whole thing together and really leads into our identity of flipping, which is action, change your form, flip your identity card, then draw up to your printed hand size. You almost always want to see this when you're in hero form, because you can spend out your whole hand, you get a flip down, you drop 6 more, you can either recover, flip back up, deal 2 damage, or just flip down, get the 6 hand size, flip back up, deal 2, attack, maybe do some 1-2 punches, and just it goes all from there. I love She-Hulk. I think her design is really cool, but I do think she needs some help specifically in solo. So she's a hero that loves to flip down, but her thwarting is really weak. That seems like a recipe for disaster. If only there was an aspect that could help her deal with both of those issues. And so I finished that campaign for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and getting into why I chose She-Hulk and kind of the deck I did. I felt like Nick Fury and Maria Hill had a lot of answers that are specifically tailored to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. campaign box, which isn't a bad thing, but in order to kind of get like my own personal evaluation of how hard the villains were, I wanted to take kind of an older hero. It didn't have to be an older hero, but a hero that didn't have as many specialized answers to the scenarios, and see how, how that hero fared. I ended up on She-Hulk, and I'm like, okay, I love She-Hulk, but she does have problems because she wants to flip down, especially in solo, but she doesn't always have the opportunity. Her thwarting is in low, so how do we supplement that with Justice? And what is a really great Justice archetype? Shield Justice. That's where we get Shield Hulk from. So let's go ahead and start on the deck list. I'm going to go from, I guess, least interesting to most interesting in terms of what I included, and we'll go from there. So I think we're going to start off with the resources here. That shouldn't be too surprising. So, what's it called? She-Hulk needs economy help. That's no surprise. Having 4 hand size is, I wouldn't say it's a detriment. It's more of like a balancing tool because of how high her stats are and her health are. But we are playing 3 copies of Genius, Energy, and Strength. 1 copy of each, and we're doing the shield art, which are really great. I love the energy art the most, I think. Something about the background and like the artist, it's just really great. And 2 copies of the Power in All of Us. What this card does is, for basic cards, it counts as a double resource. So essentially, for basic cards only, we have 5 doubles in the deck, and it really helps her get her economy online to be able to do what she wants to do best, which is flip down over and over and deal some damage to the villain. I'm not sure what the next set of cards are. Oh, yes. This one is just kind of like a blanket inclusion, in my opinion, for every single 14 HP hero in the game. It is Limitless Stamina. I forgot when this card was printed, but it's a support for the 4-handers or 14 HP or more heroes, and has an, play only if your identity has at least 14 printed hit points. So even if you increase your hit points to that, you still can't play it. Has to be printed on the card. And it says hero action, ready your hero. Again, in the same vein why a 1-2 punch is really good. You can kind of like attack for 6, or you can like attack, ready up, flip down, heal. It just gives them so much versatility to use their high stats. That kind of offsets kind of their lower hand size because it's a low cost card. It's really, really good for them. When we go to the next one, we're going on to our supports here. So we'll go these one by one. So the first one, and it's a linchpin of shield builds in general, in my opinion, depending on the hero, Government Liaison. It is a Persona shield support that says as a hero action, you can exhaust Government Liaison to play a shield card from your hand, reducing its cost by 1. This is essentially a 2-cost resource generator, kind of in the veins of Ingenuity, even though it's definitely a bit more restricted than Ingenuity is. But if we're focusing hard on the theme of shield, and I wanted to, if I was going to go back and tackle these villains on expert mode, it makes a ton of sense in this build specifically. It can help discount a lot of cards, such as the Helicarrier. This is a shield card, and so you can kind of create a loop here where it's like, okay, we play Government Liaison, and then we exhaust Government Liaison to play a Helicarrier, and then we can use Helicarrier to reduce another card to play it. It makes a really good loop. Obviously, it doesn't happen like that every game, but that is what it is in this deck. Then we have Quinn Carrier. Again, we're still going on these basic supports because we have basically 5 doubles for them. The idea isn't to get every single one of them out, but the idea is to get as many out as possible that makes sense with like the tempo of the game, the villain you're facing. She needs the economy help, so I just like putting in these options. especially because this is, it's a unique, so I can't play multiple copies of it. And the last one we have is Avengers Mansion. It's kind of thematic. I mean, even though we're doing a shield build, she's an Avenger. Also, I love Avengers Mansion, and it's just more targets for these Power of All of Us, so it's never a dead card. It's really hard in this deck, specifically for the Power in All of Us, to be a dead card. Now we're going to move on to our basic allies here, and these shouldn't be too crazy. So one that's from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Grant Ward. I think Grant Ward is an amazing card. So again, She-Hulk is on actually getting started in the early turn. She does have a lot of weird, odd, dead hands sometimes where it's really hard for her to make efficient use of every single card or resource she has available to her. Grant Ward kind of fixes that issue a bit. So he's a 0-cost ally. He cannot defend, but he has 3 health. As a forced response, after you reveal a treachery, you may spend a science resource. If you do not, you take damage equal to his attack, and then you remove him from the game completely. So I think the whole idea, thematically, I think this card's super fun. He's like a shield. He's like a traitor. He's like a, like a Hydra spy or something like that. He's not actually like shield aligned, and he, whenever the opportunity comes up, as such as a treachery being revealed, he kind of busts out. He's like, I'm not a shield agent, and unless you outsmart him and knew he was a traitor with that mental resource, he removes himself from the game. He's no longer your ally, and then he deals damage equal to his attacking on the way out. But the reason it's in this deck is because she needs the thwarting help, and this is a 0-cost ally you can just play out of your hand for free, and he gives you 6 thwarting. Now, if he has to, I don't know how many resources, if he has to eat like 2 resources, you're still only spending 3 for 6 thwart, which again, if he does that, then it's like a bit under curve. But if he only spends 1 to get 6 thwart, that's pretty good in my opinion. You're spending basically 2 effective resources for 6 thwarting, which is not bad at all. Then we're going to the next one, Professor X. Again, I try my best to make the decks as thematic as possible, but there are just some cards where it just makes too much sense to run. We're on these 5 basic doubles. He gives us a 3 thwart in order to clear out any pesky side schemes that show up. He gives us a confuse on the villain or a stun on a minion, which is both really good for She-Hulk. And he lets us flip down. He lets us do everything. He's easy to pay for. The one little caveat in this otherwise thematic deck, Mockingbird, for a similar reason as Professor X, she's kind of like another 3 cost. She can get discounted by the government liaison, and she comes in and stuns. Against enemies that are normal or even steady, it's pretty decent. Now we're on the 2 Nick Furies. We're on Nick Fury Sr., the father, and Nick Fury, the son. Both of these cards are extremely good. They both get discounted by government liaison, the Power in All of Us, and all these doubles we have going on. And they do different things. Nick Fury Sr. can come in and thwart for 5, which is extremely good. He can instantly clear a 3 threat from a scheme, which can, again, clear any pesky side schemes. And he gives us a block, and he gives us some damage. Nick Fury, he's just the classic card, basically the best ally in the game. You play him, he draws 3 cards, and then he just makes your turn so much better, gives you a block. He's just super good. But now, I've only covered the basic cards. I haven't revealed the aspect, but again, I think the aspect should be relatively simple to guess at this point. We are on Justice today, so I want to see where this would go. Yeah, we'll look at our Justice ally lineup first. So again, She-Hulk's biggest problem is thwarting, so how do we deal with that? We play Justice. So we're on our ally lineup of Quake, Monica Chang, and Agent Coulson. These 3 are shield allies, so they all get discounted by the government liaison, and they all do different things. Quake is here. She can do a bit of damage for us. She acts as a block, and she's a cheap ally once she gets discounted. Monica Chang is extremely good. It's one of my favorite cards, and it's just rather than playing anything else in this slot, which I think you could to make the deck, I guess, more optimal. I just love this card. I like when she enters play, she searches for one of the copies of surveillance teams and puts it into play and puts an extra counter on it. So you play her, you play her for what, 4 effective resources, and she gives you 5 thwarting total, or 4 thwarting and 1 attack plus a block. She's just really good. The thwart is spread across multiple turns, which can be a bit of a downside to some people. But I think She-Hulk, a lot of the allies in here have like 2 thwarts, 1 thwart stat. So even having that 1 extra thwart, if you get like a nasty side scheme in play, usually you're able to manage because you have this flexible thwart that you can save when you really need it, or maybe ping it off the main when you really need to find a flip down or something. I think it works out pretty well. If you're trying to build purely for power, though, I could understand maybe cutting this card for something a bit stronger. And then we have Agent Coulson. He's just super good. He got a reprint in the box. After he enters play, he kind of like rebates himself, where he can search the deck and discard power for a preparation card and add it to your hand. Since he's a spy trait, the preparation of choice we're doing is Spycraft. This is basically a really cheap way to, it's not an encounter card cancel, but it does help you avoid losing games from really nasty encounter cards, which I do like. I don't play it all the time. Sometimes I just use it as a resource to play another card, but it is good when I really need that like extra protection, so to say. And the last 3 cards we're on here is, again, even though we have all these allies, we have the surveillance teams, we have the combos, we're still on the 3 copies of 4 Justice. There's a ton of science resources in this deck. You're almost always going to hit the kicker. And sometimes there's just, the allies don't pan out. There's just one really nasty side scheme you have to get rid of. The main really needs to get dropped by a lot. This is just an all-purpose answer, core box card. It's just extremely good for solo specifically, and maybe even up to 2-player where it's remove 3 threat from a scheme, 4 instead if you use paying a mental resource. That is the deck. It's been a ton of fun. The deck was easily, well, I won't say easily on some scenarios, but it was able to comfortably beat every single scenario on Expert in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. box, which was the whole idea. She had, I believe it or not, the most struggle with Batroc. I think that's a very poor matchup for She-Hulk specifically in so many ways. But other than that, I think she did pretty well in all the scenarios, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., in my opinion, is a really thwart-heavy kind of campaign. You had to deal with a lot of thwarting, and that is her biggest weakness, bar none. So the fact she was able to kind of comfortably defeat most of the villains in this on Expert was really fun. It was a really fun challenge, and I think it's a really fun and thematic build if you want to go through the campaign with someone who isn't just Nick Fury or Maria Hill, and really kind of gauge how difficult a lot of these villains are without all their specified answers, like their tons of statuses and whatnot. That was a really long deck list, but we're going to get to the gameplay here. Again, we're just going to play a quick game here, win or lose, just to show off kind of what the deck is attempting to do. You can see kind of like how my playstyle is and whatnot. It isn't the most clean. And one couple of things that in the write-up specifically for the deck list I want to talk about is I tried to avoid specifically a lot of the solo patch cards, which is stuff like Under Surveillance, which increases the main's threat threshold by 4. Stuff like Upside the Head, even though that's really good for She-Hulk specifically, because when you attack an enemy, you confuse them after you make a basic attack. There's a couple of like really good cards that are like make Confuse really easy to come by. Dazzler was another one where she enters play. She has like 3 health, 2. She has 3 health. She also has like 2 scheme. So she can like thwart for 4, but she also gives you a confuse to flip down, which is super good. There's a lot of answers where if you're finding yourself struggling and, kind of working around the weaknesses of She-Hulk, there are a lot of answers to be included to fit the, your play style or your preferences or specifically the villain that you're facing. So she has answers. Most of what I wanted this deck to be was thematic, and that's why I wanted the Shield card count so high. Because we're playing through the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. campaign and the villains in that box. So I thought it would be the best fit. There's also some specific considerations for multiplayer. Again, I don't know if you'd ever play She-Hulk Injustice above maybe like 2-player in multiplayer, because it's not really playing to her strengths. It's mostly like a solo 1-player, 2-player type of build. But there are some specific things I would switch out. Intelligence in multiplayer is an absolutely insane card that I would pick instead of Spycraft. It's just strictly better in my opinion. It doesn't have the spy requirement, and you can do so much modularity. You can make it to where your Grant Ward doesn't reveal treachery. There's just so much you can do with that card specifically that I would switch it out. In solo though, I think Spycraft is probably more than enough. And so we're just gonna shuffle, and we're gonna get to the villain today. So I did put a poll on the channel on what you guys wanted me to face. And I don't think, to the surprise of any, the kind of scenario I've had the most anticipation and fun with got voted, which was the Thunderbolts scenario. So we're going to go ahead and bring this all in. So the Thunderbolts is a really interesting scenario where you actually have to defeat one Thunderbolt before you're able to effectively defeat Citizen 5, who is the main enemy of the scenario. So I will say that this scenario gets much more difficult on, what's it called? Much more difficult on Expert in my opinion, but I don't think it's anything crazy or anything like too insane. I think it's a really good difficulty. Here we have the standard and expert sets along with our obligation. This is the Thunderbolt set here. And so we're going to read how to do this setup real quick and just play a quick game here. Let's see how it goes. So we have the Thunderbolts and standard encounter sets, and we choose one modular set plus one per person additional modular set. So rather than doing this randomly, I will specifically pick one here, being Radioactive Man. You will see very soon why. If you know, you know. So hopefully we can see it. I'm not actually going to keep it from you guys, though. The main reason is that and a big reason I wanted to do She-Hulk for this Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. expert play is because they threw a bone to people who play Hulk and She-Hulk with this attachment right here, encounter card. It's a condition attached to your identity. It gives you -1 scheme and -1 attack. As a force response, after you recover, discard one card from your hand, discard this card. So it is kind of nasty that it's a forced response. But if this is attached to an identity that has the Gamma trait, this attachment gives them +1 attack instead. I think it would be really funny, cool, and thematic if we were able to flip that. So we are going to pick Radioactive Man for one of them. And then we have so many other Thunderbolts to deal with. So I think there's 5 left. 3, 4, 5. Is there 6? No, there's 5. So we're going to roll a dice here, 1 through 5. I hope it's not Mach V because I just played him the other day to test this. So let's see what it is. 5. I think this is Batroc? Yeah, this is Batroc. Okay. When he engages you, discard one card from your hand. Well, that's a bit nasty. So these are the 2 Thunderbolt minions. We're going to set them aside. And then we're going to shuffle these both into the encounter deck and get playing here. So Citizen V, he has 16 per player health. And it says he cannot be defeated unless there are 1 per player Thunderbolts minion in the victory display. As a force interrupt, whenever he would activate against you during step 2 of the villain phase, if you're engaged with the Thunderbolt minion, Citizen V does not activate and heals 6 damage instead. So that's pretty interesting. There are some rules question that comes up whether a status card affects this or not. I'm going to play it. The status card does not affect this. But if the ruling comes out later, again, this is just for fun to show off the deck list. I think it's a ton of fun. I think it's really thematic. I think you guys will enjoy it too. So we're going to shovel that up. And then we're going to reveal the Justice Like Lightning environment. So now we're going to do this. Each player reveals a random set-aside Thunderbolt minion. Reveal and attach the remaining set-aside minions. We're going to start with Radioactive Man. We're not going to do it randomly. And then in extra mode, give each of these minions a tough status. And then flip this card over. So we'll keep them up here. So both of them start with a tough here. So She-Hulk's, her whole deal about, dealing 2 damage when she flips up can be a bit helpful here. We're going to keep shuffling this up. This scenario can be a bit annoying in solo specifically because they keep swapping over and over, and anytime they swap into here and heal, they get a tough status. This deck, as you saw, doesn't have any piercing, so there is some stuff we're going to have to do here, but hopefully it's not too bad. We're going to start it here. So we did all the setup. Each Thunderbolt minion has guard, so we cannot actually attack Citizen 5 here while we have a Thunderbolt minion engaged with us. And as a force response, after a player attacks a Thunderbolt minion, that minion engages that player. So here we go. We're just going to start this off here and see how it goes. Let's go ahead and just draw our hand up here. I felt like the first game I played didn't really showcase the deck very well, even though we don't necessarily care about the win. I just felt like it got stomped out by like a really unlucky thing. Maybe I'll post the bloopers at a later date. I'm kind of looking at this opening hand here, and what do we've got? We've got, we could do this, get an Avengers going. Maybe we don't play Grant Ward. I think what we would do is, let's go ahead and discard. We probably don't want Grant Ward. We don't need For Justice. I don't think we need Limitless Stamina either. We'll just keep these 3 in hand. Draw 3 more. So Personality, For Justice, and Quake. Okay. All right. What do we want to do here? So I think it is. If we flip up and we play Quake, we can keep Split Personality in hand. So if we do 4. Draw, we won't have enough to actually play the Quake. But Split Personality will give us a really big turn. We just play Quake anyways. We forego the Mansion. Let's do that. Let's go Government Liaison to start. That'll really just kick off all of the shield stuff that we can do. And then it will play Quake here. So we'll spend 2 resources here to play on Quake. We're gonna flip up. We're actually gonna break Batrox's thwart tough status here because he's gonna swap in anyways, and then we're gonna have. Oh, I forgot that when he engages us, he discards a card from our hand. So if we don't actually get a double here, it's pretty bad for us. Is there any way we could have played that hand? I don't think so. That's fine. We'll just leave it as is. We will have Quake, thwart for 1 here, and then we'll just ready up. We'll draw 1, 2, 3. Let's just hope we find a double. We do not. Okay, I don't think we can even play anything with this hand. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay, it's gonna go up by 1. He's gonna try and activate. He can't. Radioactive Man's gonna activate. We're gonna block. Take 2 indirect damage, so we'll take it. Quake's gonna be defeated after he activates, deal 1 damage. Then we got an encounter card. Tap in, engage the Thunderbolt minion with the least damage. He's gonna activate. So Batrox's gonna come in here. When he engages you, discard 1 card from our hand. Let's get rid of, I guess, yeah, split personality. Doesn't really matter. He's gonna activate against us for 2, 3. We're gonna go down to 9. And what's gonna happen? We're gonna want, yeah, we're gonna Radioactive Man to go in there because they're both tied. That's back to us. So I think we're just gonna flip down, heal for 5, and just end our turn. There's not really much we could do there. And we're just gonna draw up. Let's just draw up 4. Let's get rid of Ground Stomp. Okay. Gonna ready up here. He's gonna go to 2. He's gonna scheme against us. Oh wait, we're gonna I object that step 1. He's gonna scheme for base of 2, 3. Sorry, base of 1 and 3, and then an encounter card. Radiation exposure, attach your identity. This is what the combo I was talking about. If your identity has the gamma trait, it gives us +1 attack instead. After we recover, we discard 1 card from our hand and discard this card. Batrox is going to switch back in here. Radioactive Man's going to come back out, and Batrox's going to heal and get a tough status. Okay, so we have damage we can kind of do now, which is quite funny. Let's just actually like attack Radioactive Man. Let's break his tough with our flip, and then we're gonna get Nick Fury out here for sure. So I think we'll do Government Liaison. These 3 resources for Nick Fury. Let's have him draw us 3 cards. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we can get down a Focused Rage to get some economy going. We have 4 attack right now, so we definitely want to play the 1-2 punch, I think. Let's do these 3 for a Focused Rage, and let's exhaust it and take a damage. Draw a card. Powering all of us. So we can just play down Coulson here, grab a card. But then it feels kind of bad because I still want to play the... If this was a normal double for Coulson, it would have been crazy. Because then we could have 1-2 punch and had some allies to help us out. Do I really need the 1-2 punch? We will be swinging on him for 8-10. That could give us some really nice tempo going. No, I think even so, we're just still going to play down the other Focused Rage here. Just so we have all of our resources online. We don't want like to worry about the early gains too much, but we will attack still. We're gonna thwart for 2 off the main. We're gonna swing for 4 on Radioactive Man. Still take 4 damage here, and that's that. I'm gonna ready up and draw up 4 cards, 3 and 4. Fury Senior. Okay. Let's go up to 3. Radioactive Man's gonna attack us. We're gonna block with Nick Fury for 2. And then what he does is he does 1 damage to each character. Got an encounter card. Power of the Atom. Find Radioactive Man. He activates against you. He's going to activate again. That's 2, 3. And then discard 1 card from your hand. 1, 2, 3. Down to 9. We do have to discard 1. Oh, and we're going to take 1 more from his response. We have to discard a card here. What do I want to do? Monica Chang. I think Monica Chang is what we're going to end up playing this turn. So we'll discard this. They're going to swap. He's going to get a tough and heal 2 damage. And then Radioactive Man's gonna get a tough, and then when he engages me, we discard a card from our hand. So let's get rid of Legal Practice. And okay, that's gonna be to us. So we actually want to flip down and recover here, and it says that the force response after you recover, discard one card for your hand, discard this card. We're actually gonna choose not to. We're just gonna have 0 cards in hand, so we don't actually lose the buff, which I think will be pretty good for us. Let's do a focus rage. We're gonna take a damage and draw. 1-2 punch isn't necessarily what I want to see because we want to use our 4 attack, but it's gonna have to do. We're gonna go Government Liaison and these two for Monica Chang. When she enters play, we can search for a surveillance team and put it into play. It comes in with an extra counter, so it's gonna have 4 thwart on it ready for us to use, which is really good. We're not gonna use our other focused rage this turn because there's no point. It would make us discard our upgrade. It's gonna come in with 4. Then we're just gonna, let's just put this here. We're gonna exhaust it. Do thwart for 1. We're gonna have Monica Chang thwart for 1. And then she's gonna take a consequential. We're gonna flip down. We're gonna heal here up to 12, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then there's a force response that says after you recover, discard 1 card from your hand, discard this card. We have no cards in hand, so we actually cannot fulfill that force response. 2. Then we're gonna draw up 3, 4, 5, and 6. Ooh, I definitely have some damage in this hand right now. How much do I necessarily have? I think we have 6, and then 4, so 10, 14 damage. Still not enough to knock out Radioactive Man, but it's good progress. We're gonna ready up. Okay. All right, let's see. It's gonna go up. We're gonna I object the main, but Truck's gonna scheme for base of 1, 2, 3. Gonna go up to 4 and counter card here. Engage the Thunderbolt minion with the least damage that is not engaged you. That minion activates. So this is kind of unfortunate. So he's gonna engage here because he's actually not gonna swap. So he's gonna go 1 damage here. Sorry, he's gonna scheme for base of 1, 2, 3. Brings this up to 7. And then Monica Chang is gonna be defeated because of his thing. Deal 1 damage to each character. And then Thunderbolt backup's gonna go off. He's gonna heal back to full. And then Batroc is gonna stay engaged with us. Okay, so now the play is there any way we can defeat Batroc? We're gonna have to find out. Oh, we're definitely not healing here because we want to keep our radiation exposure buff. So we're going to flip up. I think we're gonna break the tough on Batroc here. Then what we want to do is, I think we're just gonna focus rage twice just to see our options. Go down to 9. Draw 2 cards. Twin Carrier, Professor X. I don't know if we can play. We want to deal a ton of damage. That's our main. That's the main thing we want to do here. But Professor X is really good at keeping that thwart in check. So I still don't think we can. So what can we do? We can go. Can stun. I think we just have to spend our hand to build more, even though I don't want to. Yeah, that's probably gonna be it. I spend 3 resources here to play down a Twin Carrier, and then we'll do Twin Carrier and these 2. No, we probably need Mockingbird. What do I really need in this hand? Twin Carrier and these 2. Let's keep a limitless stamina. Professor X. We're gonna have him when he comes in. We're gonna stun a minion. Go ahead and stun. What's it called? Let's stun Radioactive Man here. We're gonna have Professor X thwart for 3. This down to 4. He's gonna take a consequential, and then we're gonna have She-Hulk swing for 4 on Batroc. So he's gonna go to 4 damage. And I guess we're gonna surveillance team here for 1. Bring that down to 3. And then we're just gonna ready up. Okay, I'm gonna draw up 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. All right, so ready up here. It's gonna go up to 4. But Charr's gonna activate against us. We're gonna block. Base of 2, 3, 4. SRX is defeated. Counter card under fire. 2 encounter cards here. Exhaustion. Okay. I don't know the order. Let's do this one. This is gonna surge. Surge. Each player engage with a minion. Engage with the player clockwise from them. Okay. There's no other minion clockwise. Jolt's gonna come in, and then innocent bystanders. Wow, what a turn. We might be cooked. So after you attack an enemy or an enemy attacks you, we have to spend 1 resource of any type or place 2 threat on the main scheme. Okay, and then we're also exhausted. All right, let's take some damage here. Draw some cards. Hellcat. Oh wait, these guys are supposed to swap. Supposed to get a tough. Okay. What can we even do? Every option just kind of seems like a bad option. We already drew everything we could. We go ready with limitless stamina, I guess. And then spend 3 resources for Hellcat. We'll swing for 1 on Jolt. When we attack it, to spend a resource or put threat. And we'll attack for 4 on Jolt, spend a resource. That's gonna defeat her. When defeated, she puts 3 threat on the main, so it's gonna go up to 7. Hellcat's gonna have a consequential here. I guess that's all we really can do. We'll do a surveillance team just to lower it, but it's gonna come back anyways at step 1. Then draw up. We're gonna get an encounter card here. 2, 3. One, 2, 3, and 4. Agent Coulson. Okay. Oh yeah, that went up. He's gonna try and attack us. He can't because he's stunned. Oh wait, and then yeah, 2 encounter cards because I decked out. First one, flip and exhaust. Sure, we'll remove it from the game. Second one, innocent bystanders. Oh, that's quite bad. Okay, these guys are gonna swap, and then Batrock's gonna come in. I have to discard a card from my hand. My hand that's already extremely low. Let's get rid of Gamma Slam here. Okay. What can we do? We need to get the thwart in check. That's like the main thing. Yeah, and I'm already exhausted. So we're gonna flip up. Like, what does the damage matter? I guess we'll clear the tough. Just draw 2 because we need cards in our hand. So we'll go 1, 2. Nick Fury Sr. Is that the play? I think we Nick Fury Sr. just so we have a block. Yeah, probably. So we'll go. Yeah, we'll go. Man, this sucks. We'll just go 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll do these 4. And on Nick Fury Sr., we're gonna have him thwart for 3. We'll take it off in the main. We do kind of want to spend this Quinn Carrier after you attack. Oh man. I guess we can't really deal with these counters right now. We're just gonna thwart off the rest of the main. Right down to 0. And then yeah, just keep Split Personality in hand and ready up here. Okay, drawing up 1, 2, and 3. Cool. All right, it's gonna go up to 1. Patroc's gonna attack. We're gonna block with Nick Fury. Space of 2, 3, 4. Encounter card here. Caught off guard. We'll get rid of Surveillance Team. Okay, that's back to us. All right. So we want to play Split Personality here. Oh wait, yeah, and these guys swap. He's gonna be healed fully. Radioactive Man's gonna come into play. So Personality here is kind of annoying, man. These innocent bystanders are just crazy. I think what we'll do is swing for 4 on Radioactive Man because we're not gonna heal. We'll deal 4 to him, and then it's going to trigger both of these. So I'll spend 1 resource for 1, and the other one can put 2 threat. Then I'll spend Quinn Carrier and these 2 resources for Split Personality. We're going to flip down, draw up to our printed hand size. Okay. Alright, then what we'll do is 7 cards. Gonna flip back up here. We're gonna deal 2 damage. Let's just do it to Radioactive. We do the Batroc. Man. I think we do it to Batroc here. Then do I need to Split Personality here? Sorry, do I need... Now let's just draw. We need as many options as we can find. Monica Chang. Monica Chang is not bad at all. Yeah, it really isn't. So if we do this, let me go like this. Okay, let's play for 3. We'll play Monica Chang. She's gonna find us a Surveillance Team. I don't know if there's any left in the deck. I'm just gonna look. No, there isn't. Okay, that's fine. So then we'll get one from here. Just grab one, comes in with 4 counters. We're gonna exhaust it immediately to drop this to 2. And then, yeah, we have to play a Mockingbird here because we don't want Radioactive Man to activate, so we're gonna stun him. And then, we still want Hellcat up for a block, I think. Do we have... Oh wait, we should have 1 extra card in hand because I could have done Government Liaison. So I think we'll do that to keep a 1-2 punch. I think we're gonna have one of them attack just because we want to get rid of these counters. So we'll attack Radioactive Man for 1. That's gonna drop this to 2 and then completely remove this one. And we're just gonna spend 2 resources, 2 1-2 punches here. And then we'll have Monica Chang thwart for 1. I'm not gonna rest her. I know she did it. Mockingbird, yeah, kind of tight space here, but hopefully we're clearing up and dealing with threats on the board. We're just gonna ready up here. Cool. Draw up 1, 2, and then awesome. All right. So what can we do? Let's go up to 2. Radioactive Man's gonna attack. He can't. He's stunned. Encounter card. Runaway Nuclear Reaction. After he's dealt any amount of damage, he plays threat here, and then he deals like 10 to each player, to each character, and then draw. They're gonna swap in, but Batroc's gonna make us discard. Radioactive Man is going to heal and gain a tough status. Okay. What do we want to discard here? Is it Quake? Is it... Let's discard Quake here. Okay. I think we just need to see cards, so let's draw 2. Dropping us down to 3 health. We're quite low. Professor X. So I think we want Hellcat Athort for 2 off of Runaway Nuclear Reaction. Hellcat is defeated. We want to try and flip down here, I think. Then we want to do... we want no cards in hand. So if we do Quinn Carrier in this... No, we want to spend this and then 1-2 punch. And then Quinn Carrier can get rid of one of those counters. Okay. Cool. We're gonna do these 3 here for Professor X. We're gonna stun a minion. Let's go ahead and stun Radioactive Man because it's gonna be coming back in. Then we're gonna have She-Hulk. We're going to swing for 4 onto Batroc. When we attack, we have to remove a counter and spend a resource. We're not gonna put any threat on the main. Have Professor X Thort for 3. Oh man, I wanted to flip down and heal, but I just realized that this Professor X activation isn't going to get anything. I think that's okay, though. And then we're going to Limitless Stamina here. So that we can ready... And do we flip? That's the question. Yeah, we flip down. We're going to recover. It has a force response, but since we have... what's it called? We don't have any cards to discard. We do get to keep it. And then we're going to drop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. All right. This is going to go up to, we're going to I objected. He's going to scheme for base of 1, 2, and then discard a card from your hand. Let's just get rid of Legal Practice, I guess. And then an encounter card. Advance. It's 1, 2, 3, up to 7. Okay, and then it's back to them. So Radioactive Man's gonna come in with his tough status, but he's already stunned. He is tough and he heals for 2. Cool. Okay, so maybe we get a bit crazy here. Do we have a kill on Batroc? He has 14 health. We have a ready. I think it's possible that we do. So I think we're gonna go for that angle. Professor X is defeated. I'm gonna go for that angle and try and do that. Or we could attack radio. Oh wait, we could actually just defeat Radioactive and he's already stunned, right? So what happens is if we play down this superhuman strength, we have 6 attack. So what is that? 6, 12, 15, and then we need 3 more. I think that's the angle actually. So we're going to play for 2 basic doubles. Nick Fury, we're going to draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Found Grant Ward. Are we decking out? How many cards we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if we can take the damage though. Let's do... I'll see what I can do with what I just have in my hand right now. We can't actually heal. We're going to flip up. We're actually going to break Radioactive Man's tough here. So we'll do that with our effect. We still do have an innocent bystander to think about. So... if he schemes, it's just really bad for us. I think we can take 1 draw here. Take 1 damage because we probably do need Grant Ward. Yeah, I think we just kind of have to go for it. So we'll go. For sure, we don't need these 2. So we'll play down superhuman strength. So now we have 6 attack right now. We're going to swing for 6 on the radioactive man. He's at 9 damage. And then when we attack, we have to spend a resource. So let's go ahead and spend this and not add threat to the main. Then we're going to spend 1 for limitless stamina to ready. Attack for 6 more damage. He's already stunned, so it doesn't go away. So we'll do this for 6, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then, yeah, we do want to knock him out here. We'll swing for 1. That's going to defeat Monica Chang. So that's 12, 16, 17, 18. We'll have Nick Fury defeat Radioactive Man, put him in the victory display. And then we'll have Grant Ward come in, and we'll have them thwart for 3 total. Go up to 2, 1, 2, 3, and then we'll have the surveillance team here, thwart it for 1 more down to 3, and that's the best we can do. It's gonna go up to 4, and we're gonna ready up here. So Citizen V is actually gonna be the one who activates against us because we are not engaged with a Thunderbolt minion. So okay, so we have this, and then we drop 4 cards and we get an encounter card. All right, let's see what we can do. So Citizen V is going to attack us. We're just going to block this with Nick Fury. Okay, so what's gonna happen now is he's gonna attack us. We're gonna block with Nick Fury. It's gonna be 2, just 2 damage. Nick Fury's defeated here. 2 encounter cards. First one, Rumbling Thunder. Second one, Gang Up. So we have to choose to spend a science resource unless we want Grant Ward to blow us up. Let's do that. Spend the Quinn Carrier. Then Citizen V is going to attack us again. We're going to block. Base of 2, 3, 4. So then that's going to go. And then Mockingbird's defeated. And then this is going to come in with 3. And then I think Thunderbolt backup, I think they come into play with us. When the round ends, attach the Thunderbolt minion with the most damage here, swapping it with the minion already attached here, if any. So I think they come engaged with us. I don't actually know this for a fact, but let's just say we are engaged with Batroc here, and that's back to us. So I think we want to draw some cards. So we're going to spend 2 of our health to draw. 1, 2. Ooh, Monica Chang has so much value here. Yeah, I think we always do that. We're gonna go Government Liaison in this double for Monica Chang. She's gonna get us another surveillance team. Let's get the one in our deck. And so this one comes in with 4. And then this one comes in with 3. Awesome. Now we got a lot of thwarting we can kind of do now at this point, which is great. We can also, man, is it a turn for us to flip down here? I think it could be pretty good for us as long as we can spend our hand, which I'm not sure what we have left. Oof, I don't think we can spend our hand. That's unfortunate. We shouldn't have taken 2 draws. I guess instead of Government Liaison. Yeah, instead of Government Liaison, we will just do a surveillance team then. Or sorry, trash, whatever we have in our hand. We'll just keep this one because we do want that thwarting for 4. Then we're just going to spend a 4 justice here so we can go ahead and bring this down to 0. And we have Monica Chang and Grant go ahead and thwart off Rumbling Thunder. I'm not going to exhaust them, but she's going to have a consequential, and so is he. And then we're going to flip down and recover. And again, we don't have any cards to discard, so we should be able to keep it. I hope I'm playing that right. And then we're gonna draw up 6 cards. Oh Lord. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. This is really good for trying to knock out Batroc here, but let's see what we can do. So it's gonna go up by 1. We're gonna eject it. Then Batroc's gonna scheme for a base of 1. Just 1 here. Yeah. And then we got an encounter card. We're at the end of the encounter deck here. Surge, each player engages the minion clockwise from them. We're playing in single player, so it will surge, though. I really hope it's not the one that revives Radioactive Man, because those cards are nasty. But maybe I just spoke it into existence. Let's see. I do think we have a pretty solid hand. Oh, wait. I have to spend a science resource, or Grant Ward is going to explode on us. Let's spend this. Do we really need him? That's fine. He can explode on us, and we'll take 2 damage and remove him from the game. And then we have a Surge here. 1 more card. Power of the Atom. Find Radioactive Man and reveal him. If he's already in play, he engages you. If no card, he's in a victory display, so he's going to surge into Radiation Exposure. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. We have 5 attack now. Okay. That's back to us. He's going to go back into the backup here and heal, I think. So he should be at full, but I don't know if he's going to be able to stand up to the onslaught that's coming towards him. Okay, we do have Monica Chang still. All right. Wow. This is definitely an example of what I wanted to showcase. The last game, it was a really unfortunate side scheme into like master plan, into like it was rough. It was rough. But this is much different from last game. We're gonna flip up. We're gonna use our response here to go ahead and break this tough status. I mean, let's draw some cards. Let's take 2 damage, draw 2 cards. Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow, we have a lot of things here. So we have how many readies in our hand? We have 4 readies in our hand. And we're gonna spend them all, basically. We'll keep the split personality because we have a Quinn carrier for 1 of them. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and swing on. Ooh. No, we actually have to discard it because we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, I discard it because when Batroc engages, we have to discard a card from our hand. Just fine. We're gonna swing on Batroc for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage here. That's gonna stun him, but it will remove our. It will remove our superhuman strength, but when he engages us, we have to discard a card from our hand. Let's just discard legal practice. Maybe I'll just keep the split personality and we won't swing that many times. And then we'll do a Quinn carrier for a 1-2 punch. It's gonna ready us. I'm gonna swing for 5 more, so he has 7 to 12 damage here. And then we'll do we'll just do a limitless stamina again to ready and attack again for 5 damage. And then, how many readies did I do? I should have enough to spend 2 more, right? Yeah, if I want to, which I will spend, I think 1 more. We'll do 1 more. We'll ready up here. We have 5 attack. We'll swing into Citizen 5 here. Bring him down to 11 health. And then we'll do a surveillance team here. Bring the main down to 0. And then we're just going to ready up with these cards in our hand. 1 and 2. Okay, I think this is almost the game with just what's in my hand, but let's see. Citizen 5 is going to go up to 2. He's going to activate against us. We're going to block with Monica Chang. Down but not out. I'm so glad that's gone. Please don't reveal 1. Rumbling Thunder comes in with 3 per player. Okay, cool. Now it's back to us. We have everything ready here, and let's see what we can do. Okay, we're gonna swing on him for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring him down to 6 health. Then we're gonna go. We'll do a 1-2 punch here to ready. Swing for 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 5. Bring him down to 1. And then in the manner of everything She-Hulk, what better way to get the kill than with our flip effect? We're gonna draw off a focused rage here, take a damage. We're gonna spend Quinn Carrier and these 2 resources here for split personality. We're gonna flip down, draw up to our hand size. We could probably do so much overkill, but we're not gonna bother with it. What we're gonna do is just gonna do a simple flip up, use our response to You Even Lift, hit Citizen 5 or V, down from 1 to 0. That was the gameplay. That was a ton of fun. And let's get to the after chat. Okay, so what did you guys think of the deck list? I thought that it was just really fun, really thematic. And I think the fact that She-Hulk can even tackle these scenarios where threat is such a big issue, I think is super cool with, like, you know, the current the legacy card pool, as you would put it. I think it's super cool that she can still hold her own, have a ton of fun doing it, and play like really strong and powerful cards. Obviously, not every scenario is going to give you 2 attachments that essentially, you know, buff your attack to 5, but that was kind of the fun, and you guys voted for this scenario, so I'm assuming you guys wanted to see that gamma type of combo as well. I don't know, She-Hulk's just so great. The deck is a ton of fun. You want to try it in solo. Obviously, if you're having issues and you don't mind like picking up and restarting games, putting more confuses in the deck is a good just general answer to a lot of the issues you'll be having. She loves to flip down, but she needs that opportunity to flip down, and that can be kind of hard for her. The Thunderbolts are no slouch on expert either, man. But Charr constantly lowering my hand size. I think we started this game just having a complete dead turn, but the ones that have kind of nasty effects have like really low scheme stats, so I guess it kind of makes up for it. That was a ton of fun though. Let me know what you guys thought of the deck list. Let me know what you guys thought of the gameplay. Again, there was probably a trillion rules mistakes in this Thunderbolts run, but that's the beauty of like learning a new box. Usually I'll watch other people's gameplay to learn how to actually play a scenario. I'm kind of winging it. I don't necessarily know how Thunderbolt backup works with just one of them left. How it reads is that it swaps every single turn, regardless if there's anyone in here or not. It just swaps in and out every turn, just regardless, essentially. So I think I played that correctly. I think that's how it's intended to be played. And it was really fun being able to just burst down Citizen 5 at the very end because of all the gamma, basically radiation attachments. Super cool, super fun, and thematic. Hope you guys give it a try for yourselves. Let me know what you guys think. And check out the write-up. You know, leave a like, a favorite, a star, and whatnot. Ton of fun. I just wanted to test it, make sure it was ready. And I think it was. It's a ton of fun. Let me know if you guys try it out. I will see you guys in the next video. See you guys later. Take care of yourselves. Have a good one. Goodbye. Hit the mic on accident.